Hello and welcome to the Otaku Network podcast. My name is Steve.
I'm David.
And we are on week 12 of the spring anime season for 2024.
And the end is here, baby.
As luck would have it, all three of the episodes we picked for the spring season are 12 episodes long.
Yes! We don't have a 13th episode of Remonster.
This week on Seiyuu Radio, we pick up where episode 11 left off, and Yumiko has come to Chika for help because she's at the end of her rope when it comes to what she's doing. Chika essentially gives her one piece of advice that she needs to stop being so hesitant and kick the shit out of her voice acting. She needs to stop worrying about her abilities and what other people think about it and just do her job as aggressively as possible. So Yumiko takes this advice to heart, and the next day, Chika accompanies her to the recording. In addition to that, we have two other voice actors that show up to help with them. One of them being the woman whose name I forget momentarily, who was the harshest critic of Yumiko's. The evening before, Chika had told Yumiko an anecdote about the older woman and how what appears to be bullying to her is in fact concern for someone she feels has potential to do well within the industry. And that's kind of her way of showing her that she needs to step up her game or else she's going to throw away her chances. So, yet another person presenting tough love in lieu of teaching. Honestly, not much more to say. The bulk of the episode focuses on them re-recording her lines for the final episode with the three other women kind of joining in to help enhance the recording. Yumiko has taken to heart Chika's suggestion, reinforced by the tough love from the other voice actor, and pretty much kicks it out of the park to the point that part of her performance is so powerful in the climax of the episode that Chika misses a couple of her lines and is just shaken. As well as when the recording is done, there's silence from the control room while everybody tries to process this drastic transformation they've witnessed with Yumiko. She succeeds in the end, and she exceeds everybody's expectations, which reignites Chika's disdain for Yumiko and renews the friendly rivalry between the two. And that's kind of where we end the episode. On a high note of Yumiko succeeding and the girls once more returning to an even playing field of being frenemies and competitors. And that's the end of Seiyuu Radio.
Yeah, I was wrong about the Yuri. Sort of.
So there's a fun line that I'm working on turning into a meme. At the end of the episode, they show the girls recording another episode of their radio program. The writer, Asaka, comes up with an idea that the next episode they record has to be this quote-unquote lovey-dovey episode where the two girls have to talk about things that they like about the other one. Because there's been underlying tension between them with all of the issues and rivalry and jealousy around Yumiko getting into Phantom. Yumiko says something offhand of like, that just seems like Yuri bait. So I screen captured that, and I've started the process of using it as a meme template. And the first one I did is for Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, because that is Yuri bait.
Oh god, it's just like the fucking meme from Mad Max. That's bait.
Much to David's disappointment, we do not get our Yuri ending.
I don't know if it's disappointment. Just a prediction that I got wrong.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But weirdly, every time you search Seiyuu Radio, some weird searches. Seiyuu Radio, Kiss. Seiyuu Radio, Yuri? Question mark?
I mean, everybody's going to ship whatever characters together. That's just a part of fandom. That's fair.
But there is also more light novel that wasn't covered in this season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot more material. I doubt it'll see additional anime.
Can I say, though, I got fucking goosebumps when they were doing the scene. There was like no other sound, no music was playing. It was just them voice acting. And I was just like, ooh, goosebumps.
No, they did a really, really good job of presenting that with cutting back and forth between them in the recording booth and then the pre-production stills of the anime as guidelines. And the fact that, yes, the only sound was the voice actors doing their lines. No, it was really, really well done.
I really want that anime to come out. like I want that mecha anime.
I doubt it'll happen, but it's not like that hasn't happened before, but I doubt it's going to happen with this one.
Poemi.
No. So there's the classic otaku anime, Genshiken. And in
I've heard of Genshiken.
In Genshiken, they have a bunch. So Genshiken is an anime about a bunch of college-aged otaku from various different styles of fandom that all kind of grouped together under a title of Genshiken is a shortened word, and it's something like the appreciation of modern visual arts or something like that. It's been a while since I've watched it. But the group as a whole, they have a weekly anime that they watch in the first season that they ended up doing a 3-part OAV that's of that anime they were watching. I forget what it's called. Anyways, the show ended relatively well. I think this end arc kind of made up for a little bit of the slump near the beginning, washed away a little bit of the very unnecessary fan service segments that still are way out of place and not explained.
Yep.
I don't think it was that without question that Yumiko wouldn't succeed, but it also seems a little, it wasn't satisfying.
Also, they hit the challenge. They didn't actually pass.
Yes.
Chika just blew up at her mom.
That's right. They were, there was a point after the success of the recording.
No, this was before the success of the recording. They were walking together.
No, I thought it was after.
No, they were walking to the studio.
Oh, was it on the way to? Okay, yep. I guess I misremembered. Anyways, they were reminiscing. I think the show essentially covered probably 10 months of time in their life.
Yeah.
So the two girls walked to the same area where they did the challenge, and they brought up the fact that the first person who came up to them saying, "I'm not actually talking to you," but her mom's like, "No, that actually counted." And then, yeah, Chika just
Mick freaking lost it.
Yeah, it berated her mother into letting them continue.
So they did technically lose.
Yeah.
They just retroactively went back to it. I thought you would appreciate that, kind of grounding the reality again.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Because the outcome of that episode, at that point, before this whole retcon, was ridiculous. Everybody was overcome with love and joy. Like, oh, let's keep going. Oh.
Yay. Sappy love stories. No, I really enjoyed this episode. I was happy with the way this anime ended, and I feel like it's wrapped up neat in a tight little bow. And if they never make another season of Seiyuu Radio, cool. If they do, bonus points.
Yeah, overall, it was satisfying. It has its problems, it has its down points, but overall, it did really well to stay grounded in reality.
If a second season did come out, I would watch it.
Yeah, I'd probably watch it. I don't know how quickly I'd get to it, though.
Fair.
There's plenty of other second seasons for shows that I still have yet to watch.
Right. It's just, I like the chemistry that the girls have.
Yes.
And it is an entertaining story at the end of the day. And that's all I want, is a nice, entertaining story that has a nice plot progression, which it mostly did.
Yes.
And a nice resolution to the end of the season.
Yep. I'm just glad it did not turn out to be the voice actor equivalent of the Moe fan service pile of garbage that is the show New Game.
All right, the final episode of Remonster sees us getting to the capital city of Who Cares, where they successfully drop off the tomboy princess, and she basically is like, "Thank you, Oguro," and gives him this, like, for lack of better words, all access pass to the capital city so that he can travel around and explore and not be hindered by guards or people there, because he is an official not a representative, but he's a emissary. And so he has now this emissarial status because of this thing that she gives him. And he then places his replicants all over the capital city because that's what Oguro does. And he is basically like, "All right, team, we did this. Let's go home." Cue going home montage, except it gets interrupted very quickly by Dami being a sad little dampier.
She's so emo.
She's so emo. She just keeps going about how I'm not strong enough. I blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, first it was, "I can't get pregnant by you." And then now it's like, "I can't level up."
She's just a whiny. So Oguro basically stops the entire train and is like, "We're going to sit here and train until Dami levels up," which takes a day. She fights a bunch of the Fomorians and a bunch of Minotaurs? Yeah, Minotaurs.
Yeah, he summons a bunch of different things.
He summons
that are
a
not
bunch of
skeletons.
shit. She fights it. She passes out. He carries her back, and then for the first time ever, suffers mana depletion.
He spent so much energy training his lover.
And then they're like, "Oh, you've never experienced this because you're so powerful." Cue eye roll from David. They go to bed, wakes up. Guess what? Dami's a vampire now. A vampire
lord. Yeah.
A noble. It's like she says it's a noble class called a vampire lord.
Who, we might add, can be out in the sunlight with no problem.
Exactly. She finds out her true name, think it's Katarina.
I didn't even bother to make note of it. But yes, she learns a true name.
It's some very like Eastern European vampire name.
Yeah.
We're just gonna say Katarina because
Sure.
It's
not like she goes by it anyways.
we don't care. She finds out what her true name is. She tells Ogro. Ogro's like, yay. And then flash forward to getting home where Ogre Kichi and Earthe have built this massive fucking palace.
It's like the Hilton now.
Yeah, and the whole way home they're like, I'm so excited to be back in my cave.
Yeah, they're like, I totally missed the damp, cramped cave.
And then, boom, literal palace.
Yeah.
And while they're all catching up and happy to see each other, suddenly the little healer goblin dude runs up and is like, Ogro, come quick. And the best scene of the fucking show, when that little perverted goblin dies. I was so vindicated.
How old did they say it was? 11 years old?
Yeah.
Now at this point, we're like, what, 140 days into the show?
Yeah. So finally, that little perverted goblin dies, surrounded by his loved ones.
His family,
sure. Ogro tells them all their new names.
Yeah, you're forgetting the parting gift.
We're not there yet. So Ogro tells perverted goblin all of their new names, how Ogro is now Avaro. He basically takes Avatar and
slaps
a row to it.
Yeah.
Ogre Kichi now becomes Mino Kichi.
Yeah.
He does a shortened version of Dami's true name, like Catty or something, or
something
Katie,
like that.
some shit like that.
Catme, maybe? I don't know.
Catme. Oh, I think that's it. Earthe keeps her name because she's just a now full Earth Lord. And then
she was like, I guess.
Yeah. And then Ogro introduces perverted goblin to his grandchildren.
Who we get the names for the other two, but I didn't pay attention to them.
I didn't pay enough close attention.
Because it doesn't matter.
Didn't matter. And then perverted goblin, seeing his family and his grandkids surrounded by loved ones, passes away. And then everyone notices he has a fucking boner.
Like a flagpole.
Like a fucking flagpole. I was not surprised with this show when that perverted goblin died with a fucking raging hard-on. Good for him. Good for him having that massive of a dick.
He died happy.
He died aroused, my friend.
Yes.
He just pulled off the ultimate BDSM kink, dying. And so he gets burned on a funeral pyre. That one Lincoln log he had probably burned the brightest. And they throw a tournament in his honor, in which, no fucking surprise, Avataro, or whatever the fuck he calls himself, fucking gets first place. And then his 3-day-old children, or maybe a week, his week-old children participate and get their asses beat. And then he gets a message from the princess. The princess says, hey, it's time for another adventure. And then they all wear like SS uniforms.
Yeah.
And then they go off to their next adventure. And I was like, thank God this is over. And
it's over with. There was a lot of crying and milk in the comments section of Crunchyroll that we don't know about a season 2 yet.
Yeah. There was a lot of like, this has a great amount of rewatchability. And I was like, what?
Everybody has their different tastes. It's all good. You know what my biggest problem with this episode was? Aside from the penis?
Huh?
Why does Dami sleep with her glasses on?
I don't know. Why were they wearing SS uniforms?
I try not to think about it.
Like those were dangerously.
Yeah, they're a little fascist.
Close to fascist.
Just a little bit fascist.
Or like an M. Bison kind of.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I mean, M. Bison's fascist.
Is he?
I don't know. He looks fascist.
I've never played Street Fighter, so I don't know. But no, our penance is finally over. We don't have to think about Remonster anymore after we finish talking about it here. Well, we gotta grade it, but after this episode, we're done. We're done. I'm free. David is a free elf.
So much to the point where I don't even know if I'm going to write a review for it for the Otaku Network website.
That's bad.
Because I don't know if I care enough to put any more thought into it.
I mean, to be fair, I've seen your notes every week, and it's like barely a paragraph. Like barely a paragraph.
Well, there's not much that happened in the show, so there's not much to talk about.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about. It's just not relevant. It's like the writing team is a bunch of 13-year-olds, and they're basically like, What's funny, and can we pack it into a 22-minute episode? Sex jokes, dick jokes,
Power gaming.
power gaming, SS uniforms, just, you know, how much stupid shit do we think is cool can we cram into 22 minutes?
To be fair, when Oguro was like, we're going to celebrate the passing of Gobjii, the first thing that popped in my head was not a fighting tournament. I was quite convinced they were just going to have an orgy in celebration of his life.
You know, he probably would have preferred that.
I think he would have, yeah.
He would have been on the sidelines just watching. Maybe participate.
He would have tried to participate.
No one would have let him.
Probably not, no.
Oh, God. There were children present.
There were.
And that was your first thought?
I didn't say it was going to happen out in the open. Oguro would have done, you know, the golden barrier again. Just saying.
Would he have?
Yeah, I'm sure he would have.
I feel like he's the kind of person that would keep it in the family. Oh, my God.
Don't.
They're all related.
Yeah. Well, his kids are anyways.
Right, but no.
I mean, that's just how that works.
Backpedal.
Yeah.
Him and Dami are related.
Yes.
They're from the same clutch.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I can't believe you just realized that.
I never thought about it.
All the ogres are, all the goblins are related.
Oh, my God. Ogre Kichi and Earthay are related, too.
They are. So you said...
The show becomes even worse now. Oh, God.
So you said there was one thing about this episode that you really liked.
It was good. It was the goblin dying.
Oh, so, and I thought I shared the same sentiment with you. My favorite thing was the fact that it ended.
That too.
Because that's seriously what I thought you were going to say when you told me that before we started recording.
Fair.
Because I know that's my favorite part. The end credits.
Okay, I'll say my favorite part is it ending. My second favorite part was me being vindicated about going, when the fuck is this goblin going to die?
Episode 12 of Astro Note picks up exactly where we left off in episode 11.
In space.
The Astro Lodge, transformed into a giant mecha, is ready to fight the Hubbies. So we find out that the leader of the Hubbies is the same being that Mira's mother was running away from all those decades earlier.
I don't blame Mira's mother.
Yeah. So Mira gets really freaked out the fact that this dude's just chasing after her daughter because he couldn't get his original thing. Showing Ginger shows up flying his
Pleasure Palace?
his love hotel. His ship is too pathetic to transfer. It's literally just the house.
Yeah.
The love hotel flying through. It's funny as shit. Anyways.
This is fucking hilarious.
Showing professes his love for Mira. Hubby leader professes his love for Mira. Mira tells both of them to go fuck themselves. And
Hubby leader blows up Showing ship.
Takumi restates his undying love for Mira, and she reciprocates. The Hubby is annoyed with Showing, who is more than useless, so blows him out of space. Cuts his love hotel in half. Then Mira unleashes hell and wipes out the entire Hubby fleet. And they go back home.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
So Takumi wakes up in bed, wondering if everything was a dream, finds Mira in the dining room, and she's like, nope, it all happened.
You missed the hilarious part that happens while they were battling.
Which part was that?
Where the entire household of Astro Lodge are sitting in a chair, watching this battle happen.
Yeah.
And then Tomohiro remembers that there's food, calls Takumi
That's
in
right.
space. It's like, yo, can we eat the food? And then Takumi's like, sure. And then he remembers, and like he's telling Mira, and he's like, oh, we gotta tell him to save food for us.
Yeah.
And he calls Tomohiro, and on his fucking phone it says unemployed chef. Tomohiro's a piece of shit.
Tomohiro's listing for Takumi in his phone is unemployed chef.
He's a piece of shit.
The rest of the residents of Astro Lodge are enjoying the strange events around them by just celebrating, drinking, and eating all the food that's in the refrigerator.
And poor Naosuke is just stuck with them.
He is enjoying it.
Yeah,
He's
he
having
was.
a good time. So everything returns to normal, and Takumi finds Mira in the dining room, and she reassures him that, yeah, everything that he thinks happened. And then she tells him that she's not going to become queen of her people. She'd rather just stay on Earth with him. At which point, the doors to the garden open up because everybody's been eavesdropping, and Naosuke tries to argue with her about it, and she just shuts Naosuke down and is like, look, the threat's over with. It doesn't matter anymore. I don't care who runs the planet and the galaxy. I'm staying here, and I'm going to release you from your bondage to me. You can go tell my mom that. I don't care.
Yeah, she gives zero fucks. She's just like, I'm done with all this political bullshit, the whole 9 yards.
So with this revelation and change of attitude on Mira's end, the other members of the house find renewed vigor for life. Ren decides that he doesn't care anymore and he's just going to start dressing the way he wants to at school. Besides, his best friend already knows he wears dresses anyways, so who cares? Tomohiro applies to get a job?
Think so?
Yeah, he gets a job. Something like that.
Aoi gets a job.
Aoi gets a job.
She works for the lawyer lady.
For the lawyer that Tasuke used to help different people at various points. As he brought them into Astro Lodge. Who else? Teruko starts to find success as a pop idol.
Yeah, she does. I was like, you go, girl.
And Naosuke decides to return home and
With Shochiki in tow.
Shokichi goes, wait a minute, I want to come with you.
First, everybody thinks he's dead.
Yeah, that's right. He was just sitting there frozen, but he was deep in thought. I thought he was dead too for a second.
I thought he was dead too. I was like, really? They're going to kill this old guy in the last fucking 10 minutes of the episode?
No, he was deep in thought. And he had come to a conclusion that would change his life, that he wants to go to WID.
Tomohiro looked destroyed.
Oh, yeah.
When he thought that old man was dead. The actual concern and sadness on Tomohiro's face, I was like, oh, you do have feelings.
He does. He's still a piece of shit.
He's still a piece of shit. But he cares about some people.
In his own way.
Yeah.
So Shokichi convinces Naosuke to let him come back. Or will let him return with him to WID. He figures, he doesn't have a lot left in his life, and it will help him finish this story that he's been working on about a man falling in love with an alien.
Yeah.
So he's essentially writing the story of Tasuke and Mira's mother, Adara.
Yep.
So he figures if I just go to the planet, that'll get the juices flowing and I can finish the story.
Then no one will read it. Well,
the widow will.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they can get it back to Earth to his publisher at some point.
Probably.
It's not like they can't transmit data long distances.
Yeah, maybe Naosuke will hand deliver it later.
Yeah. And the show ends happily ever after.
We forgot about
Takumi. Oh yeah, Takumi gets a job.
Well, no, we forgot about Shoin.
Oh God, that's right, Shoin.
Shoin survives the crash.
Shoin survives his love hotel getting split in half in orbit.
He shows up at Astro Lodge
with all of the robots that were helping him to foil everything.
They were enjoying life, and then suddenly a pot roast disappears.
Yeah,
and it's because Shoin's little hubby robots stole it, and Naosuke tracked it down, and they found him.
Because Naosuke is not a dog.
Naosuke's not a dog. But they found him cowering, hiding, and they basically confront him and are like, "The fuck are you doing?"
He's like, "I have nowhere to go. I can't go back home because I'm a traitor, and my house blew up."
And they kind of Takumi takes him under his wing again.
Well, no. He forces himself under Takumi's wing. So everybody feels really sorry for him, forgetting the fact that he literally was the betrayer.
Minus Takumi.
And was like, "Yeah, you can stay here. We got an open room. 8 is still open." And Takumi is like, and then they kind of browbeat Takumi into agreeing with it. So yes, Shoin Ginger is now a member of Astro Lodge.
I like his tracksuit that he dons.
Yeah.
I was like, that tracks.
It does.
And so now we have track star Shoin.
Yep.
Now working under Takumi at Astro Lodge, learning to cook. He calls him senpai. And everybody lives happily ever after.
Yeah.
And they finally go on the date to the aquarium. And they also get after they come home from the aquarium,
the dance to Teruko's song.
And they taught Shoin.
That's right, they did. I forgot that Shoin was part of the performance.
Yeah, they taught him how to do it, right. And they all did it for Mira and Takumi when they came home from their date.
Yep.
Such a happy ending.
Oh, it was a great. We could totally see a movie.
Definitely see a movie.
Yep, could totally see a movie coming out of this. So just some other threat shows up.
Yeah, Shoin and Mira are in the process of acclimating to Earth culture, and then another threat shows up.
Yep, and then they obviously handle it within the hour and a half that the movie would run.
Yeah, with the freaking robot again.
Yeah, that could totally happen. I can see that.
Shooting freaking laser beams.
It was a strong ending to a really good show. I think it did really well.
Oh, it was fantastic. I loved this show.
It was great.
A lot of people in the comments didn't like it, though.
I can't account for taste.
I know.
I think what people could find negatively about the show...
It's weird.
No, not that it's weird. It's that it's truly a character-driven story instead of a plot arc story. Because the show did kind of meander and go all sorts of weird different directions.
Mm-hmm.
Strong focus was really on the interpersonal relationships and then establishing unique personalities of each of the characters.
I saw a lot of people complaining that they said that the characters had no character. I'm like, are you blind?
The only one that had no personality was Takumi.
And to be fair, his personality did kind of pop out there.
A little bit, but he was really mostly a door for the show.
Yeah,
everyone else was
he was kind of the self-insert.
A little bit, yeah.
Not exactly exactly, but
No.
for lack of a better term for his character, it was
Part of-
kind of a self-insert.
Part of it might have been with comparing him with how bombastic everyone else was in the show.
Yeah.
He was the straight man to 7 weirdos.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the point, is that you needed that one more like just straight up person that isn't this weird eclectic personality
I mean, he had no hobbies.
that we know of.
His room was devoid of anything.
Fair. But he could also be the type of person
Oh,
that like...
well, no, he had hobbies. He liked that show. He liked watching movies.
Right, but he could also be the type of person where he took one of his hobbies and turned it into a career.
Cooking, sure, yeah.
Because
He
a
does-
lot of people will take a hobby they really like and turn it into a career, and a career that they love.
I think you're fighting for Takumi being a rounded individual too much.
I think Takumi is a great character. I really like Takumi.
I did too, but compared to everybody else, he was kind of a stick.
Every show has to have a stick.
Nichijou?
Shush.
There's not a normal person in Nichijou at all.
Fair. Almost every show.
So I don't know if you picked up on this. The whole discussion with the leader of the WID, or no,
You mean
sorry,
the Hubbies?
the leader of the Hubbies, and why he was so interested in Mira.
It's because he wanted pretty kids.
No, because he was infatuated with Mira only for the idea that she was a WID, and it made me think that they were commenting on replacing him as an American Japanophile, where he's just so obsessed with some other culture to the extremity of he just wants to breed with someone of that culture purely based upon his obsession with it. That's how I read that.
Yeah, I could see that. Because he does make the comment about how my children would be beautiful and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
And
well,
like,
probably not. They mean merfolk. Which way?
they'd
Fish
get,
on the top, human on the bottom?
they'd get the shitty half, fish on top.
Yep, they pretty much were already fish on top, human on bottom, human-ish. They were amphibian-ish. Anyways,
I mean, it was like 10% fish, 90% humanoid.
humanoid, yeah, for the rest of their body.
It's such a weird species design.
But fantastic.
Fantastic, but like weird. Did you notice all their ships were fish?
Yes, yeah. So the spring season is done.
We did it. We made it.
We did it. The first season of the Otaku Network podcast. So Seiyuu Radio, we're going to give it a grade. Probably give it a B-.
I'm gonna be a little bit more generous and give it a B+. There was definitely a lot of the story that I really, really liked, and I feel that a strong 85 to 87% of the content was great.
The story did relatively well, sticking in realism. It lightly touched into the industry stuff. I appreciated the dramatic nature of the story. The artwork was horrendous.
That's where I lost most of the points.
Absolutely horrendous. The weird distractions that popped up in the show were distractions.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, beyond even just the fan service, there was some. I can't think of her name. The older voice actress who both hates them and loves them.
Mekuru?
The dynamics of her character are too extreme to be believable. Chika's manager is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There was some stuff that they built up that probably just because of the time frame of the story they couldn't cover within the show. The show ended on a good note, on a believable and satisfying note, but we can definitely tell that there's way more story that probably needs to be told.
That's fair. I'm still sticking with a B+. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And at the end of the day, did it entertain me? Yes.
So next, you need to watch probably what I think many people consider one of the greatest industry type anime that deals specifically with anime production is the amazing anime Shirobako. And then so compare Shirobako with Seiyuu Radio as their similar stories in a way. Not as much. The Shirobako really leans into this is how the industry operates per our perspective. And this is how we're going to present it to you in a entertaining format. Whereas Seiyuu Radio does that lightly and that's kind of the backbone of the story. But Seiyuu Radio focuses more on the internal struggle between the two main characters. Mostly, honestly, it's really mostly just the internal struggles of Yumiko, with Chika as kind of like a catalyst for some of that struggle. Yeah, I don't regret watching it. I don't know if I have any interest in picking up the light novels or manga to continue the story.
Yeah, I don't know if I would either.
If a second season were to ever come out, which is never going to happen, I can probably guarantee you, I'd probably watch it.
Fair. If I see the manga like on sale for dirt cheap, I might pick it up.
Sure.
But full price, maybe not.
Remonster, I don't know. I mean, I've seen way worse anime.
I'm giving it a solid D+.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with a D+.
Not F, because
there's significantly worse stories out there.
yeah, I've seen some shit. I've heard about some shit.
MD Geist is all I have to say.
Like, we didn't both message each other after the first episode and be like,
Regrets
we might need to pick a different anime.
regrets were made.
So I'll give it a solid D+. That's what Ogre would probably give it too. Solid D.
Solid D. The show really didn't do anything.
No, it did nothing.
It had a meandering plot, and I know there's more story to it than what they did in the anime.
Right, because there's a ton of manga for it.
But even within the story that they decided to produce, which they are probably just following right along with the light novels progression, there are a lot of threads that went nowhere, which they're probably hoping they can do again. But I'm skeptical we will see more of this show made in the future. I don't know.
I just thought it was funny that it simultaneously released both Japanese and English
Language tracks
simultaneously. So they're just shooting through this.
Which is pretty impressive because for the style of show, there was a large amount of dialogue. The show was mostly just dialogue.
Yeah.
Remonster was bad, but there's been worse. But definitely, I wouldn't waste my time on Remonster because it doesn't do anything. It presents nothing of interest.
Right.
Astro Note is a very, very strong contender for my favorite anime of the year so far, or just in general. Like, I don't know. It'll be a really hard hill to climb for shows that have yet to come out.
Yeah.
Though my dear friend Nokotan may be able to knock it off the top spot.
That show delivers what's promised. That's going to be in my top 10.
The story was fun. What really drew me to it was the fact that it was so reminiscent on purpose of Mason Yukoku, because Mason Yukoku is my favorite romance anime.
So what letter grade are you?
I'll give it an A-. It's really, really, really good, but there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
Like if you start giving things perfect grades, you're going to set yourself really low.
Yeah, I'm about like a really low A to a high A-.
Fantastically well done.
Because I'm saying low A,
Sure.
because there is, definitely that room for improvement.
Mhm.
But
I don't know how it could be improved, but
the reason I say A is because I know there's probably something you could do to make it better, but I don't know what it is. So happy brain go, yay.
yeah, the show delivered what I expected,
I'm giving it a low A. Fuck that high A-.
and more so because it kept going into unforeseen directions. So it was not
Predictable.
Yeah, it wasn't predictable. And, I like predicting how things will go.
I know. We were predicting so many different things happening, and none of them happened.
For a lot of the shows.
I know. Wild.
That's fine. That's
But
fair.
I did predict that the perverted little goblin was going to die. I'm chalking it up as a win for David.
Hell yeah.
Put that one up on the tally board.
Yeah, Astro Note was good.
We should keep a running tally of how many things we're right about every season.
We'll have to do that. We'll start doing that in this summer season.
We were wrong about literally everything for the spring season except for the goblin dying.
No, there was quite a bit that we got right with Seiyuu Radio.
You're right. Yeah, we'll just start at the summer
I am
season.
disappointed, though, that my prediction about Otome's personality did not come true because she just kind of fell flat as a boring character.
Yeah, pretty much.
She would have been way more interesting if she would have been a nemesis type character. But then again, we got that with Mekuru for some strange reason.
Can we still chalk up the goblin dying as a David
Absolutely,
win for the
of
summer?
course. Yeah.
We're starting here.
Anything else?
No, this was, in the end, 3 animes. 1 sucked, 2 were great. I'm happy we started doing this.
Yep. Thanks for joining me in this adventure. We'll see what next season will bring.
20 seasons. Unending amounts of Steve and David on the Otaku network. It's David and Steve all the way up.
Well, that's only 5 years. There are 4 seasons. There are 4 core per year.
I am trying to do the Rick and Morty thing right
yeah,
now.
I know. 100 years.
100 years of Steve and Dave. Come on, Steve. You gotta shove it way up there, buddy.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, spread the joy. Leave comments.
Share it with your friends.
Yeah.
Comment.
We're on a variety of different social media platforms that'll show up in the end card.
Tell us why we suck.
We've got the link to David's Instagram for his hobbying in the show notes. So check that out as well.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week.